All right, tubers. Hopefully this is working properly. We'll find out in just a second. Yep. We'll find out in just a second. Well, at least I don't sound like a chipmunk this time. Hey, I-386, how you doing? Hopefully I'm coming in nice and clearly. This is something I've been wanting to do for a while, and basically this is just going to be a fitness Q&A where you guys can ask me anything, everything to do with fitness, my fitness goals, health, what I've been able to accomplish so far with the exercising. Yes, I know it's a little bright. Let me see if I can fix that. I'm not sure if I can do that in OBS Studio or not. Let me see here. Might just turn that off. See if that's a little bit better for you guys. I was trying to get the best lighting possible. We'll wait a couple of minutes to see. Oh, yeah, that's a heck of a lot better. Wait a few minutes to see who else might join us. I'm hoping this is going to be a good time. If not, I may need to redo this at a later date. It's hard to get everybody to get here at once. I need sunglasses. I know the feeling. Give it a few minutes. I'm going to go check my phone real quick while we're waiting here. Oh, there we go. Just posted up did a little post on Facebook about a really cool diner we ate at, Wolf's Diner in Pennsylvania, where it's actually one of those original cable car, or what they call them, club car style diners. And they actually had an original jukebox that was fed by a machine in the basement that actually had records. It was like a little carousel. Okay, I will reiterate one more time for those of you that did not see or read the description. The only questions I will be answering here are about health and fitness, so nothing computer related. This is not one of the usual live streams, and I apologize for people that are here for that. But I want to go ahead and make sure everybody can ask the questions that basically I've been getting for a while now, is how well I'm doing with my health and how everything's going with the exercise regimen. And I should actually call this, we are calling this a lifestyle change, because that's really what's happening here. But I'll give a little bit of a background for you guys while we're waiting. Basically, about let's say about 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with pre-diabetes. And basically what that means is my blood sugar went up high enough to where I needed to be on medication, but not high enough to where I actually had to get on insulin. And I've been trying to manage it now for about 2 or 3, well, ever since then, really. And I did okay, but I had to be on some pretty high doses of medicine. Again, not insulin, but just regular medications, metformin, and another one that I take, basically an injectable. And once I started to have to get on that injectable, I said to myself, you know what? This is not something that you want to deal with for the rest of your life. And that's when I really started to get serious about getting healthy. So I asked Mom one day, and this was about, let's see, so this was about 4 months ago, say October. Basically, I said that, you know what if we start walking, we start changing the way we do things? You know, start walking, start modifying our diet, not going out to buffets anymore, you know, just basically trying to be careful. And that was in October. And since then, this is basically January. So say October, November, December, January. This is basically our 4th month. I have lost a total of 30 pounds. Mom has probably gotten down to about 10 pounds, but she won't get on the scale, so I can't tell you guys for sure. But since then, my blood sugar has totally gotten under control. Basically, I don't even have to take medication at all anymore. And that's why I'm trying to get this information out there. And I want to go ahead and tell you guys that I realize I'm an inspiration to you, but you guys are an inspiration to me, because all those comments that I get saying good job, Matt, and basically that's great, but the ones there where you say that I'm helping you guys out, that you guys are going out there exercising, trying to get those pounds off, that really inspires me to want to do a little bit better as well, even better than I have been. I see we got some comments and questions here. Let's see what we have. Champ00, you and your mom look really good. Do you have a certain calorie restriction? Is there a magic number? No, there's definitely not a magic number, and I can't really say that you should have 1,000 calories a day, 2,000 calories a day. It really just depends on your particular circumstance. I can tell you, for me, being about 6'2", 6'3", 300 pounds, we can use that as a baseline, I need to have at least 2,000 calories a day. If I don't have the 2,000 calories a day, I can actually see my weight increase, because what happens is my body goes into what's called starvation mode, and at that point it actually starts storing fat instead of basically burning it off. So for me, that's a good benchmark. There are a lot of different tools out there. Basically do a Google search, what should I have for calories a day, and there are calculators where you'll put in your weight, your body style, in other words, if you're large frame, medium frame, small frame, and they'll actually tell you what your calorie intake should be per day. I386, this is good because I am in my mid-40s and I am overweight. I'm glad you're taking care of it now. Older you get, the harder it gets. That is true. Unfortunately, as the decades pass, your body it's just a fact of getting older. I know, for instance, my dad struggles a lot with losing weight. He's in his late 60s now, and he can exercise, he can cut back, but his weight just stays pretty much stagnant unless he keeps pushing and pushing and pushing himself. A lot of that has to do with hormone changes. Basically, just as you get older, your body doesn't work as efficiently, so it just can't burn the calories off like it used to. Champ 00. Also, do you use a pedometer like a Fitbit? I do use a pedometer. I actually use the pedometer app through my phone. And let me pull that up really quickly. And the name of it just is pedometer. You can see it right there. You can see right now I'm at 8,665 steps for today, and it's only 235. And I can actually show you guys what I've done the past days. Like yesterday we did about 8,000. If it'll focus, and then the day before I only got about 7,000 in. So basically every day we were away, I've been trying to get as many steps in as I possibly can. Now, granted, being Western New York, it's not that easy, because the temperature, give me an example, the temperature of the day that we left was about 15 degrees, and it didn't get up past 18, and at that point you really just can't be outside for any length of time. We could bundle up, we can put the hard gloves on. I had even these ski gloves that I bought at Lidl that are designed for like sub-zero weather, but even then it's miserable to walk. But you usually have other options. In my area at least, we are within 5 miles of a shopping mall, and our shopping mall is perfect for that. And I have figured out that walking around the shopping mall 4 times, at least the perimeter, gives me 3 miles, and that's what we did today, and that's what we're going to try to do basically for the rest of the times that we have to go there. Now, granted, I hate going to the shopping mall to walk. It is so boring, and Mom says the same thing, but we are doing this to help our body out, to help us live longer, to help us feel better. And fitness and health isn't always fun. Exercising is not always fun. Dieting is not always fun, but it's something that has to be done. I like new haircut. Yes, thank you very much. That was Stephen Bellavia, if I'm pronouncing that right. I hope I am. I got it done when we were up there, and the main reason I did is because if my hair is too long, then as I'm exercising and I'm pumping through a workout, I just start sweating, and the sweat just pours down on my face. So the fact that it's short now, this is a number 2 on top, number 1 on the side. This actually allows me to work out without getting too overheated. Let me take a sip of coffee here real quick. I know, right? I need to have my go-go juice. Well, we have 5 people here. Go ahead and start asking the questions. I'm going to wait around for just a minute. Excuse me, though. Ugh. Sorry about that. Had to blow my nose. Ever since I left my uncle's house, actually, even when I was there, I had some really bad allergies, but it's starting to clear up now. Oh, what a beautiful day out today. Though some of you would probably disagree. It's about 25 right now. After we mall walked today, we went and did some shopping, and usually from the mall to where the car is, I have to walk without a coat because I don't want to be carrying it around when we're walking, and there really isn't any type of area where I can leave the coat where I would feel safe that somebody wouldn't pinch it. So yeah, unfortunately, really didn't have much of an option there. All right, like I said, let's keep the questions coming. I realize this may not be the best time for everybody, and I do apologize. I'm not the greatest when it comes to live streams. I try to do them when I can, but with my schedule being what it is recently, I just can't do it in the prime watching time, unfortunately. So once again, for those of you that missed this, you can absolutely comment once it's over. I'll try to answer those as much as I can. Let's see what we got. I36, it's 45 here. I take 45 degrees right now over the 28 that it is here. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and pull up the local weather while we're waiting. See what it actually says it is at this particular moment. It is 27, but it feels like 17 because we have very, very low humidity right now, and there is a brief wind. So, yeah. I'm just glad we didn't walk outside today. Okay, Champ 00 said, I love your oldie videos. I would love to see some healthy recipes you make with food from there. I always want to visit my local oldie after your video. Well, thank you. I think they appreciate that too. At least I hope they do. Yes, there are a few food videos I want to do in the near future. One being, I would love to make my uncle's 15-bean soup, which he did give me the recipe for. He actually made it when we were up there, and that was so good. Basically, all you do is you buy, it's a package called 15 beans. It actually is a package where they have 15 different beans in there. And what I understand, he soaks it overnight. Basically, using that same water, you go ahead and bring them to a boil, and you add your mirepoix, in other words, celery, carrots, and onions. And he usually adds like salt, pepper, maybe a little celery salt. I like to put a little spice seasoning in mine. And you basically cook it until everything is done, and it is some of the best soup I've ever had. My uncle is so good when it comes to making soup. I-386, but there is a wind makes it feel colder. Yeah, it does, and I think that's why there's actually a wind chill of 17 right now. That coupled with the lower humidity, which is odd because in this area we almost always have a high humidity. You know what I'm catching myself doing? I'm going to do this because I keep looking at the OBS Studios, and that's on this monitor over here. So I'm going to go ahead and switch it over. I'll have the YouTube live stream on my secondary monitor, have OBS Studios on the primary monitor, so I don't really look over as much. Except when I need to answer a question, right? I'd love to get a better setup for this. Maybe eventually that'll happen. We'll see. Oh, no. We got 4 watchers, and let's see. No more questions at the moment. I'm just glad my voice isn't doing that Alvin and the Chipmunks thing like it did the last time. I don't know what was going on with OBS Studios. I'm just pulling up a website here really quick. I'm going to read this to you because this, I think, is going to reiterate what I've said. This is men's fitness, and this is basically the 10 most important fitness goals. Number one being you have to be in it for the long run. So many people have what's called New Year's resolutions, where they say they're going to go ahead and get healthy, and they even usually get a gym membership, and that usually works for about a month. And my uncle can really reiterate this because he used to work. His full-time job was at a gym, and he would tell me the gyms would be full New Year's Day. They would, by February 10th, they would be empty again. So if you're not in it for the long run, don't even bother being here because it's not going to work. I've been doing this now for 4 months, and I am totally committed to do this for as long as it takes. And bearing in mind, maintenance is also very important. You want to go ahead and be able to maintain your weight loss. There's a fine line between, overdoing your diet / lifestyle change and being able to maintain it. That's why losing weight slowly is the best way to go, because to me, the slower you lose the weight, the easier it is to maintain. And the fact that I've been able to lose 30 pounds in about 4 months, that's about the right pace. And then once I get down to my goal weight, which as of right now is about 240 pounds. So right now I still have about 55 pounds to go. Once I get down to that goal weight, maintenance should be no problem, because at that point I will have already learned the lifestyle change that I need to maintain that weight. Number two, get onto a healthy nutritional plan. Yeah, absolutely. And there are many ways to do that. You can look them up online. Your general practitioner, your doctor can usually refer you to a nutritionist that can put you on a special plan. I found for me, just being, what's the good word? Being that I have a support system and that I am basically I check in with them. I can't think of the word right now. I don't know. My mind just went blank. But I check in with my parents, and they check in with me to make sure that we're doing well. That's the key. As long as you can do that and you have that support system, you should be fine. But if you're having issues, like if you don't have a good support system, you don't have a husband, wife, a loved one that can help you, then yes, your doctor can definitely go ahead and refer you to some type of nutritionist. Number three, monitor your vital statistics and keep them in check. Yeah, that's definitely a given. For me, that was, of course, my blood sugar. But getting annual physicals is extremely important, because as you start losing weight, things will change. And if you don't keep that stuff in check, you can find yourself in trouble. Mainly with me, it was keeping my blood sugar at a safe level to where, I can still lose weight, but I don't basically go into what's called like insulin shock, to where my blood sugar dips so low I become hypoglycemic, and you can literally get yourself into big trouble. You could fall into a coma if it gets too low. There are a lot of bad things, so definitely keep track of things like that if you do have a specific medical condition. Yeah, this is a good one, and this is one that guys are really bad at, and I'm going to be the first one to admit it. Improve your flexibility and balance. Balance for me has never been that much of an issue unless I was having an issue with my ears, and I have had that in the past with ear infections. But flexibility, men in general are not as flexible as women, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that we don't stretch as much as we should. We do a lot of stuff that builds muscle, and the more muscle you have built up, the less flexible you will be generally. So do stretches. You can look online. They have recommended stretches you can do. There's one where you land your back and basically put your knees up to your chest, and you grab your feet as hard as you can, and that not only stretches out your leg muscle but also your back muscles. Just go ahead and look it up. I am not the greatest when it comes to flexibility, so the best thing I tell you guys, just do some research on that one. All right, we have some more comments here and some questions. Let's see. Stephen Balavian, I'm sorry if I'm butchering that last name, but anyway, I lost over 100 pounds and you are doing it right. Well, thank you. That's what I'm hoping. And as you can see, everybody else agrees. No, I don't want to be that boastful. What? Okay. Ekner, what is your favorite cigarette brand? I've never smoked in my life, so yeah, I don't know how to answer that one. I don't know. Yeah, no cigarette smoking done here, believe me. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, I will reiterate one more time. I will not be answering computer-related questions in this live stream. If you do ask them, unfortunately, I'm just going to have to ignore it because, like I said, this is going to be for fitness only. And for those of you that got here late, I do apologize. I will do live streams in the near future that will be computer-related, but for now, we're going to stick to health and fitness only. Well, while we're waiting for some more questions to come in, let's go back to the 10 most important things you need to do in the new year to stay healthy. Get out of your comfort zone. That just basically means that you don't have to feel bad about going to the gym. And there is that stigma about gym shaming. And I've watched a lot of videos on this. You know, people that really need to go to the gym, like me and like some of us out there, don't want to go to the gym because we're afraid of what the people that are there that are fit are going to look and say about us. The only thing I can say about that is, who cares? I don't care what they think. You know what? If I'm overweight, they should be happy that I'm there trying to get healthy. There will be those people there that say, "Oh, look at that person! I can't believe they feel comfortable coming here and working out." You know what, guys? Don't even worry about it. I used to be like that. I used to be one of those people that was like, you know what? I know I need to go to the gym. I know I need to work out, but I'm so fat and I feel so bad about myself that I don't want to go there and have people point it out. It took me a long time to get to this point, but I finally said to myself, I'm doing this for myself. It's not what that person thinks. It's not what that person over there thinks. It's what I think about myself. If you kind of have that mentality going into it, that you're going to be successful. Don't let them bother you at all. And I know I sound passionate right now. That's because I am about this particular subject. Because when I was in school, I was always a big guy, and I definitely got bullied for it. Don't let people make you fail. You are the only one that can make you fail. Other people can say and do what they want. Forget about them. They're not worth it. They're not worth your time. They're not worth your effort. Take a proper amount of time to achieve your goals. That goes back to pacing out your weight loss and your fitness goals. And yeah, I would absolutely say that because, like I said, if you're going to lose weight too quickly, you are going to gain it back 9 times out of 10. If you're just doing this to lose a quick 15, 20 pounds, you're like, oh my gosh, I have an event coming up. I have a gala coming up, a ball coming up, and I need to lose 10, 15 pounds to get into that dress that I wore in high school or to the prom. If you do it that way, and you can, there are people out there that go on these strict liquid only diets that lose 10, 15 pounds in a few weeks. You can do it, but I can guarantee you're going to gain all that back within a month and probably more on top of that. So yeah, please pace yourself out. That is the only way you're going to be successful. Make your fitness goals specific, measurable, attainable, and time bound. Basically reiterating the same thing, though the one thing they're adding here is setting a goal. My short-term weight loss goal is 260 pounds, and then my long-term goal is 240 pounds. If you don't have a goal set, you're going to fail before you even start because you don't know where you need to go. So, yeah, that pretty much says it all right there. And number 10, focus more on establishing healthy habits than on results. And again, that goes to a lifestyle change. I am never going to go back to eating buffets multiple times a week or going out and going to Wendy's and telling them to supersize that Dave's double or Dave's triple. It's just not going to happen. I realize that because if I do that, I'm going to balloon back up again. There's no problem. There's no reason you can't every once in a while, once every couple of weeks, maybe go out and say, I want to have a burger at Wendy's. But be smart about it. Instead of getting that double cheeseburger, get a single patty burger. Instead of French fries, opt for something healthy like apple slices. If you do have to have French fries, go with a small. Say you want a single cheeseburger, a small fry, and a small drink. And you can always get stuff other than sugary sodas. Specifically talking about Wendy's, they have their Minute Maid lemonade, which is only 5 calories. That's a great option. I love that lemonade myself. So there are things you can do out there to mitigate weight gain. But yes, you do have to treat yourself every once in a while. If you don't, again, that's another point of failure for a lot of people. Eckner, having a girlfriend, boyfriend also can help because they can tell you constantly get off the video games and stuff like that. So you'll feel, let's see, immerse shame and go outside for long walks to calm down. I don't think I would have put that so eloquently, but yes, that is definitely a good point because there is a little bit of shaming involved, especially when it's a loved one. And that's what I actually had to do to my father to get him to get on board with this. And it's nothing that I like doing, but shaming can be a very powerful tool if used correctly. And the way I was doing is just by losing weight. I have always been heavier than my father, probably for the last 10, 15 years. And the fact that we are about even weight wise now has really shamed him into getting motivated. Unfortunately, due to some hip issues right now, he can't really exercise, but he can change his diet. And he told me that he's going to do that. As a matter of fact, mom and dad went out to the Pizza Hut buffet, and I stayed home because I didn't want to be that bad. And he told me when he got home, he said, "This is my goal." Actually, no, he told me before he left, he said, "This is going to be the last buffet I'm going to go to for a while." And he said he's going to get very, very serious about the weight loss. And I am very happy about that because I love my parents and I want to have them around for a good long while. Stephen Belavia, my brother is doing Whole30. Any thoughts on that program? I'm not familiar with that particular program. Let me look that up real quick. But I will tell you this: I don't like diets. Diets do not work, and this is coming from somebody who has tried pretty much every diet under the sun. I tried Richard Simmons' Deal Meal. I was on the Atkins diet, the South Beach diet. I've tried liquid only diets. I tried Weight Watchers back in the day, and I'm going to tell you right now, they don't work in the long term. You may see results in the short term, but yeah, you're going to gain the weight back. I remember specifically Richard Simmons' Deal Meal. We tried that back in the 90s, Mom and I. Biggest problem I had there is for the first week, you were only allowed 600 calories a day. And this was still, and I was a kid that weighed probably 180, 200 pounds even back then. And by the end of the day, I was so lethargic. All I could do was run and crash in bed. So, yeah, diets don't work. You're better off doing a lifestyle change. And that's why if you have any questions, if you have any question on how to do this, go ahead and look at my previous vlogs, and that'll hopefully answer everything for you. But yeah, do your lifestyle change is the best course of action. Reading this right here, Whole30. The Whole30 is a 30-day fad diet that emphasizes whole foods and during which participants eliminate sugar, alcohol, grains, legumes, soy, dairy from their diets. I could tell you right now that is not a diet I would consider, and the one word there is fad. Whenever you see a fad, that's something, the definition of fad is something that comes and goes, something that is popular for a short amount of time, then goes away, and it usually goes away for good reason, generally because they don't work. Eliminating things from your diet is also not a good option either because your body needs certain things to operate properly. Your body needs sugar. If you deny your body sugar, it'll start storing fat in a lot of instances because your body is designed to what's a good word? Operate within all the food groups. If you start eliminating certain food groups, you're going to cause a lot of problems in the long term. So no, I would not recommend going with any specific diet. Timby Road, what was the hardest part about staying on your diet when you were in New York? Oh boy, you're gonna make me be really, really honest right now. The food that my aunt bakes, both my aunts bake actually. They had chocolate chip cookies. She had kalashkis, which are like this Eastern European I can't think what it's like, a flowery treat. She did Christmas cookies. We did pumpkin pie. My mom did chocolate pie. Basically, staying away from the sweets. Now, I did go off a little bit. I did have some sweets, but basically what I did is to mitigate any weight gain. I cut out certain meals. Like there were certain meals there. Like for breakfast, I would still have my sausage, egg, and cheese, or ham, egg, and cheese on a roll. But for lunch, I would just drink the what do you call it? The Ensure. Basically, I just limited the amount of calories I had, but I knew that I was going to, we were going to cheat a little bit on during the holidays. And I was good during Thanksgiving. That's another thing. If you want to cheat on a holiday, choose your favorite holiday. Don't do it. Like, I love Thanksgiving, but I was really good. I didn't have any like real chocolate chip cookies or pumpkin pie during Thanksgiving, so I was able to do it during Christmas. And I have not actually gained any weight. I didn't lose anything, but I didn't gain anything either. So it's the best thing I could tell you. Stephen Barber, how did you know you were diabetic, and what did you go through when you're with your detox, my friends? I can't. I'm sorry, you read that. Something about skinning, and she was uh, type 2. I told her she could be type 1. You can DX at that age. Um, the difference between type 2 and type 1 is your pancreas. I am considered type 2, which means my pancreas works, but my body is insulin resistant. In other words, my body doesn't use the insulin properly. Type 1 is generally when your pancreas does not work at all, and type 1 is a lot more dangerous. Your doctor can tell you that. My doctor started getting concerned when I was in my late 20s. At that time, I weighed close to 400 pounds, and my blood sugar was starting to rise in what they call the pre-diabetic stage. Um, when I hit around 32, which I'm 34 now, so it was about 2 years ago, my doctor did a test and saw that my A1C was at 7.2, which is actually considered the diabetic range, and that's when I really wanted to start getting serious. As of right now, my A1C is below 6. I believe it's a 5.8 at the moment. I'll have to double check with my doctor on that one. Um, Another thing is type 2 diabetes generally is reversible, type 1 is not. Type 2, basically, by doing the diet change and the exercise, my body can now use the insulin that it produces naturally more efficiently, and that allows me to limit the amount of medication. I am still on some medication, but it's a lot less than I was on, only 3, 4 months ago. Let me see if I've missed anything here. Stephen Barber, I am type 1. Believe me when I say it ain't fun. I know it's not. I've had some friends that are type 1, and I know that it's very, very hard to control your blood sugar. But again, this is just talking about fitness in general. I mean, whether you're diabetic, you have high blood pressure, you have high cholesterol, or even if you're just trying to lose weight, carrying around all this extra weight is not fun. It just isn't. Your joints ache after a while, and I've had some issues too. My left knee every once in a while hurts, and I've noticed just losing the 30 pounds that I've lost, my knees, my joints don't ache as much as they used to. It really, really does help all around just losing weight. Your body can kind of maintain itself better once you have all that weight lost. NWS Storm Chaser, you're type 2. Okay, so yeah, you're basically in the same boat as I am. Type 2, you're in a better position to where exercising will mitigate a lot of the complications. Just remember that, even if you technically reverse your type 2 diabetes, and it can be done, you're still prone to getting it back again, especially if you go off the wagon and start eating a lot. That's why this lifestyle change is so very important. A1C was checked yesterday and it's 7.4 on metformin. And I will reiterate, I am not a physician, so what I say here, take with a grain of salt, please. That's where I started too, right around 7.4. I believe mine may have even been a little bit higher. It was anywhere between 7.4 and 7.6. But what you can do, it only took me 3 months, and mine went down from like the mid sevens to where it is now, about 5.8. So yeah, if you can get out there and start exercising and losing weight, you're going to be in really, really good shape. Stephen Balavia wrote, again, I'm sorry if I'm butchering those names, but hopefully it's close enough. Is there any food that you cut out of your diet because it was a trigger to overeat? Oh, let me think. Not really. The only thing I can tell you is I've cut out sweets for the most part, unless, it's a holiday season. Sugar in general. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. I just thought about it. Soda. Soda was one of my vices. I used to love to have 1 or 2 sodas a day. It wasn't a lot by modern standards, but the sodas would trigger me to overeat, because what would happen is the soda, with being that it was carbureted, it would coat my stomach and would actually make me feel like eating more. So yeah, basically ever since I cut out sodas, and I cut them out entirely. The only thing I'll have on occasion is maybe a diet ginger ale with my dad, and that's maybe once a month. Cutting out the sodas was the big thing for me. It really was. NWS Storm Chaser. Everything else seems okay. Want to get it down to 5.7. Doctor says all be good for you. Anything as far as you diet. I remember first diet, I lost 200 pounds in 3 or 4 months. Or, I'm sorry, I meant to read that. I read that wrong. 20 pounds in 3 to 4 months. Anything else I haven't said here? Let's see. Support system. Make sure you have somebody that you are accountable to. Basically, just cut out the big meals. One other thing I have not said this time. Instead of eating big meals, once or 2 to 3 times a day, go ahead and try to eat. The best thing to do, at least for me, is to eat little meals, maybe 3 or 4 times during the day. I wake up in the morning and I have my biggest meal. That is, breakfast should always be your biggest meal, because you're going to be able to burn all that off. I usually have a breakfast sandwich, so sausage, egg, and cheese, ham, egg, and cheese, what have you. Then after that, that's usually around 8 or 9 in the morning. Then around noon, I'll have my protein shake, which is usually some type of Ensure or Slim Fast shake, whatever's on sale. Then around 2 or 3, I'll have a snack. Today I had some crackers with some reduced fat spinach and artichoke dip. Then I'll have a sensible dinner. Usually it'll be something like roast chicken, maybe a pork chop with some vegetable. Could be, I like Brussels sprouts, and I'm partial to Brussels sprouts and asparagus myself. You may have other vegetables that you like. And then right before 9, because I usually cut out eating totally at 9, maybe like around between 8 and 8:30, I'll have some crackers and peanut butter with a little jam or jelly, and that's usually my day. And that's, let's see, about eating 4 to 5 times a day, small amounts. That's how I've been able to lose this weight and kind of maintain a steady weight loss. NWS Storm Chaser Road again. I love your videos. I'm a huge tech guy. Please subscribe to me. I've been a subscriber to you since June. I'll have to take a look. I'm pretty sure I am subscribed to your channel. I'll make sure I do that, though. Well, thank you, and I really appreciate that. I'm a variety channel in general, but I'll watch a lot of different things, and I put a lot of different things up. All right, buddy, just subscribe to your channel. So I apologize. I thought I did in the past. I don't know what happened there. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything here. No, nothing else yet. Keep your questions coming. I'm going to take another sip of this coffee real quick. getting kind of cold though. I picked up a new coffee that I'm drinking. This is the Fall Blend, the Victor Allen Fall Blend. It's actually pretty good. If you like strong coffee, this is something I would recommend, though it is a little bit more on the bitter side. And that's another thing. If you're really getting hungry and you want to eat something, what I'll do sometimes is just have a cup of coffee. Coffee is fairly low in calories. I do put in a little bit of half and half and just a smidgen of sugar. When I say a smidgen, it's about a quarter of a teaspoon. And calorie-wise, that might be a total of 30 or 40. Drink that over an hour time. It's a lot better than going out and having a burger that's 200 or 300 calories. Ugh. Except it gives me a little indigestion once in a while and a little acid reflux too. Oh man, good times though. I tell you, we had a lot of fun up there in New York, and they were very interested in how I was able to lose all this weight, because there are certain members of my family, and and I'm not going to mention anybody specifically because I don't know if they want me to or not, that are also trying to lose some weight. Nothing drastically like I have to, but maybe 20 or 30 pounds. And hopefully I gave them some good tips on how to at least start doing that. Yeah, did Milo like the treats that I got him at the variety store? Yeah, they both like those treats. And I was happy to read that they're not too high in calorie either. Hopefully they're not going to change their mind, because I did buy about 5 or 6 bags of those, so they're going to last for a good long while. Hopefully they don't get tired of them either. NWS Storm Chaser. I have replaced soda with coffee and water. Yep, it's exactly what I do, and I'm telling you, makes a huge difference. One thing I will say, drinking a lot of coffee, make sure you brush your teeth at least 2 times a day, because that acidity from the coffee can wear away the enamel on your teeth. That's about the only negative, really, unless, and I'm not, and I should have said this before, but it probably doesn't need to be said, but I'm going to anyway. If you suffer with high blood pressure, please do not drink caffeinated coffee. There are a lot of decaf coffee options out there that taste good, so please, if you are out there and you do have high blood pressure, please choose a decaffeinated coffee option. Well, we're up to 13 watchers. I really appreciate that. I'm so glad this is actually working. Now that I have OBS Studios, I have the latest version, 20.1.3, and luckily I did not even sound like a chipmunk to start this video with. I think every single live stream I've done through the computer, I've pretty much sounded like a chipmunk for the first 2 minutes. And what I had to do to fix that, I had to actually physically stop the live stream and start it up again, and only then would it work properly. And that was without actually closing OBS Studio. If I closed OBS Studio and started up again, it would just have the same problem. Oh, well, thank you. After the live stream, you'll watch my vlog. Yeah, I just uploaded that about an hour ago. That was done on the 26th up at my uncle's place, and we had a lot of fun there. I tell you, I really wish I could have filmed more, but I didn't feel like picking up the camera because we were having a lot of good fellowship. These are relatives that I don't get to see all that often. We actually I was able to see my cousin, his wife, and my little cousin once removed, I think they call it, his son, that I've only met once. And it was so heartwarming, because, you know, when it comes to family, you know, you never know how much time we have. And I don't want to be morbid here, but let's face it, we never spend enough time. There's never enough time to spend with the ones you love. And, you know, you got to do that during the holidays. And I am actually ashamed that I haven't been up there for Christmas in almost 30 years. I actually feel ashamed for that. So we're going to stop doing that. Next year, if at all possible, if we're all healthy, wealthy, and wise, I'm going to try to be up there myself. How's my mom doing? She's doing very well. Matter of fact, she and I both walked the mall 4 times today because it was too cold to walk outside. So that was 3 miles there, or thereabout. I think it was like 2.98 miles. So we're going to round that up and say it was 3 miles. But I'm on track to getting my 10,000 steps in for today. If you don't follow me on Facebook, just go ahead and click the link down in the description to my Facebook account, and I post up my pedometer readings there. Is pretty much every day. And there's some days that I don't walk, that we bike ride, that you won't see it. But every time I do walk, you'll see what I get in, and it's generally at least 10,000 steps. Though I did backslide a little bit on vacation, but even those days we didn't exercise at all, still able to get 7 or 8,000 steps in. Sorry guys, I got to crack my neck here. Oh, I'm just gonna get a little bit more comfortable here. I'll tell you one thing I've noticed is my muscles built up a little bit more in the arm here, especially walking. When you're moving your arms like this, it'll actually help build up your muscles. Make sure you guys do that if you're power walking. Go ahead and just move your arms like this. Not only does it help propel you forward, but you'll gain a lot of muscle in the long run. Okay, awesome. I'm glad you guys are going to try mall walking. That is, to me, that is so important, because there are times here like today where it's just too cold to do anything else outside. And I'm not a proponent of walking outside when it's like 20 degrees or below. It's just too cold. Frostbite can sit in quickly. Even if you bundle yourself up, frostbite can be a major problem. So having that alternative, if you have a mall near you, I've even done it in a Walmart before. Walmart's open, most Walmarts are open 24 hours. So if you want to get your walk in for the day, go to Walmart 4 or 5 in the morning and just walk the perimeter. Walmart supercenters are huge. You could probably walk that 5 or 10 times and get all the steps you need in for the day. So my point is, there's no excuse that I haven't heard or that I will accept, especially when it comes to saying there's no place to walk, because there's always some place to walk. Heck, even if you're out in the country where you don't have a lot of stores, I know people that have walked their barns on farms, literally walked from one end of their barn to the other and just kept walking back and forth. It's called pacing, and it's absolutely something that you can do. 25 below in Iowa. You know what? I remember temperatures close to that when I used to live in New York. Again, I'm from upstate New York originally, and I can remember temperatures close to that. Not quite that cold. We're talking maybe -15, -20. But I remember on those days when I was a kid, we always tried to get our exercise in. So one of my fondest memories from my childhood, freshly fallen snow. We had a storm at night. Generally during the winter time, especially January, February, it might snow a couple of feet. I would get up in the morning and I would actually crawl into bed with my parents. This was when I was really young, like 3, 4, 5. And we would actually listen to the weather forecast and the school closures. And as soon as that school closures happened, I go back in bed, sleep for a couple more hours, and then I would get up. The first thing I do is eat a little breakfast. Then I would go ahead and put my snowsuit on, go outside and play for 3, 4, 5 hours. We would sled up and down. Well, sled up and down. We would sled down the hill in front of our house. And if it was really, really bad and they closed the road, I would actually walk to the top of our street, because our street was one big hill, and just sled all the way down to the bottom. And usually the neighbor kids would join me. That was really fun. That was one of my best childhood memories. And now I realize that was good fitness and that was good exercise, because as cold as it was and all the energy we were exerting, we were burning off some serious calories even back then. All right, we still got 12 people here. I'm glad of that. Thank you for all those that are sticking this out with me. Stephen Barber. Okay, he's also subscribed to NWS Storm Chaser. He's asking, do you chase tornadoes? Let's see. Okay, so you had some stuff from back in the 80s. I'm not too much of a storm chaser myself, but I always find that interesting. I used to watch it on the Weather Channel when they put up those storm chasing videos. Lee G wrote, are there any foods that you're eating now that you didn't eat before? Yes, oatmeal. I've added a lot of oatmeal into my diet. I get the steel cut instant oatmeal from Aldi. I like there's two ones I like there, the berries and cream and the maple and brown sugar. I will say that it's not the healthiest option. The healthiest option is to make the regular oatmeal, not the instant stuff. But I've noticed that even just adding that into my diet and taking away something like a burger or like a Philly cheesesteak has helped me tremendously. Let me see here. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh, it's funny. Yeah, I remember the movie Twister too. That was one of my favorites as well. Unfortunately, you're risking your health doing that. I have a lot of respect for storm chasers. I definitely couldn't do that myself. Oh boy, you know what? I need to shift around here a little bit because my butt is numb at this point. Take another sip of go-go juice here. That's what I was going to say. Somebody had asked me if I decorated my room for Christmas this year. I will show you the one and only decoration I put out here. I know it's kind of sad, but since we were going away, it really didn't matter too much. It's this little teddy bear with the Santa hat, and it says, "Unwrap the magic," if you guys can see that. There you go. Unwrap the magic. And I just keep this up on my computer desk right where the shelves are. Oh, yep. Yeah, you guys just got a good view of my armpit there. Oh, man. You know what? I'm getting a little giddy. I just really enjoy these live streams. Oh, we're up to 15 watchers. That's awesome. Keep it coming, guys. If I'm going to do this a little while longer, so tell your friends. If anybody else wants to, I will actually do another one of these fitness Q&As. If this is really popular, just let me know what you guys want. This is my channel, but it's also your channel. So tell me what you guys want me to do. Oh, yes. I'm sorry. I don't know if I reiterated that. Yes, I am back home. We got back home yesterday. The journey was nice. It's still a long trip. It's about 10 hours to get back here. So yeah, it's it's interesting. By the time I got back here, I could barely walk. I was actually walking like I was 80 years old when I first got up because I was pretty much numb from the waist down until I could get up, start walking, and get the blood flowing again. Yes, we did take some breaks though. Doing that full 10 hours, nah, no way. Well, thank you, Stephen Barber. I appreciate that. What do you recommend for walking? Like how long? Okay, that's a very good question. When you're first starting out, you really got to build up. When we first started walking, we did about a mile and a half. That was for about the first month. Then we built up to 2 miles, then to 2.5 miles, and now we're up to about 3 miles. So that was for us. I can't tell you what you need to do for yourself, but I will tell you this. You need to push yourself a little bit more than you want to go. When you're done walking, you should feel slightly winded. If you don't feel tired and slightly winded, then you're probably not pushing yourself enough. Now, that being said, if you have any health conditions um, that limit your mobility, please don't push yourself too much. But if you're fairly healthy and you feel comfortable with exercising, and always clear any of this with a physician before you get on a fitness regimen. Go ahead into your doctor, and I did that as well. I had a full checkup done. Have that done first, and if they clear you, then you can go ahead and start all your physical activity. But I don't want anybody to exert themselves too much just by what I'm saying. 4 laps in the mall would be a mile. No, 4 laps, at least in my mall, is 3 miles. Now, of course, all malls are various sizes. So what I would do, go ahead and walk around your mall once, the perimeter of your mall. Don't leave anything out. Walk down all the side areas. Walk in the food court, everything. make sure you have a pedometer app like the one that I use on my phone here. And once you get back to where you started, look at it, and it'll tell you. It'll tell you if it's a half a mile, 3/4 of a mile, and that'll give you a little baseline. I'll tell you how much you have to walk. Like I said, in my case, the mall, let's figure that out. The mall is about 3/4 of a mile. That means because walking around it 4 times, it's just about 3 miles. So it's just going to depend on how large your mall is. And my mall is only 1 story. Some malls are 2 stories. So literally what you could do is if you get bored walking on the 1st story, you just get in the elevator, or better yet, walk up the steps and walk around the 2nd story. Are there any fitness apps I can get on my iPhone? I don't know about the iPhone. The one I use here is literally just called Pedometer. I am absolutely positive they have pedometer apps on the iPhone, in the iPhone store. Just download one that you like. I would just honestly get one that's free. Other than that, they do have the Ride Me app, I think it's called, for bike riders. Let me look that up really quickly. Map My Ride by Under Armour. That will actually map any bike rides that you do. And let me see what it's called. Some of the more popular pedometer apps for iPhone are GPS Walking Running app, Acopedo, Runtastic Pedometer, Pedometer Plus Plus, Motion X 24/7, Activity Tracker, Bits and Coffee, NOOM Walk, and Moves. Let me try something here. You know what? I'm not going to do that. I was going to try to put it up on the screen here, but last time I did that, I lost the video feed. So just go ahead and try one of those apps. Hopefully, those will work well for you. UK, your phone can track your steps without apps, but it's more fun with MyFitnessPal. Okay, cool. I did not know that. Matter of fact, I have heard people talk about that. Let me see if I can download that app real quick. MyFitnessPal. Here it is. Come on. All right, yeah, I'll install that and check that out a little bit later. I really appreciate the recommendation. See, this goes both ways. You guys can recommend things to me, and I'll recommend things for you. Chris Garrett, I must be out of data. Yeah, I noticed that too. My uncle's neighbor has, I think she said she has TrackPhone, and she was starting to run out of data too. And unfortunately, some of these apps do require an active data connection. One thing you can do is if your contract is up, I have a contract with AT&T. As soon as that's up, I'm going to take my Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge to, oh, now my mind just went blank. What the heck is it called? Straight Talk Wireless at Walmart. $45 a month, you get unlimited data. So, I mean, if you guys are still under contract, unfortunately, can't do anything. But if you're, on a month-to-month basis, yeah, by all means, take your phone over to them. They actually run on the Verizon network. My parents have had them now for a couple of years. $45 a month, unlimited text, talk, voice, and of course, this is only if you're in the continental United States. So unfortunately for my Canadian viewers and everybody outside the U.S., you would have to find wherever the equivalent is in your country. Stephen Barber, I have T-Mobile $60 and 10 gigs of data, no contract. I love my phone. I hardly use my data, plus hotspot is included. Wow, that's actually not a bad deal at all. So $60 a month for 10 gigs of data with no contract. See, I like that. I mean, I have a contract now. I could pay it off early. I think I probably only owe about maybe $150, $200 to pay it off. I may actually just wind up doing that because my phone's ridiculous. It costs me like almost $100 a month for my cell phone service, and I really don't think it's that good. AT&T used to be better, but for some reason now in my area, I'm lucky to get 1 or 2 bars. So I'm definitely looking to change carriers in the near future. Okay, cool. Chris Garrett, I have Cricket. T-Mobile is Cricket here. Okay, yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, Cricket's like T-Mobile's prepaid service. I think in certain areas. I believe we do have a Cricket around here actually. I think it's right near the CHKD thrift store that I go to all the time. Cool. All right, so let's do an update here. Hour in, we are at 15 watchers, and yeah, not bad. Once again, I will definitely do this again if it's requested. What are you doing for New Year's, Matt? You uploading videos? I'm sure I'll be uploading some videos. I think we're gonna have my some friends over. My ex-girlfriend and her parents are gonna come over. We're still really good friends. Probably make those special meatballs that she taught me how to make, her mother, and they're really simple. Basically, all it is frozen meatballs with a half a jar of grape jelly and marinara sauce, and I put in salt, not salt, pepper, and spike seasoning. They're great. Not the greatest thing for a diet. I try to limit myself to about 4 or 5 of those, but they're also not that bad because it's mostly protein there, not a ton of carbs, especially if you don't eat a lot of the sauce with it. You might drink. Hey, nothing wrong with that. I have a drink on occasion. You know, I'm maybe 2, 3 times a month. Nothing wrong with that. For some reason, in our society, everybody thinks that consuming a little bit of alcohol is such a bad thing. But you know what? There are times, especially when I feel a cold coming on, a little bit of vodka or anything, just a little swig of it can actually cure the problem. I mean, especially if it's in your throat, that kills all the germs. And no, I'm not being funny. That is a fact. We can look that up. I had Sprint for 6 years, got tired of how they were treating me, so I went with T-Mobile, never looked back. I have had T-Mobile. T-Mobile was my first cell phone. Sprint in my area is terrible. You're lucky to get service in maybe 30 or 40% of my area with Sprint. They have great deals in the area, but unfortunately their service is lousy, like really lousy. What do I like? If you're referring to like carriers, I like T-Mobile. Straight Talk is definitely what I'm gonna go with though because they are the cheapest. To me, $45 a month. They may be raising. I think it may be going to $50 a month. So I heard, but even at $50 a month for unlimited data, I mean, you just can't beat that. I have Sprint. Don't have any issues with them. It just depends on the area. Okay, let's get back on track here. I know I said I wasn't going to talk about anything but fitness, and unfortunately, that's my fault partly. I know that we're getting off track here. Oh no, I meant you meant drinks. I like vodka. I like Smirnoff every once in a while. That's always been my favorite. But again, I don't do it that often. Getting back to the health and fitness side, overconsumption is not good either. I may have a Bloody Mary once or twice a month, but that's about it. I don't drink a lot, if that's what you mean. Chris Garrett, it's my location. My data is good. Yeah, it just varies. It just really depends. Well, I think I am going to end this because, as you can hear, my throat is really getting raspy. Looks like at the peak we had 16 watchers, so I really, really appreciate this. Everybody seemed to have a good time. I am definitely going to do this again. Please continue to like and subscribe. And as always, have a blessed day, everybody.